Hi guys, my name is JC and welcome back to my channel JC Reads. For today's video, I'll be doing my October reading wrap-up. In the month of October, I read a total of 5 books, so without further ado, let's just jump straight into the wrap-up. So the first book that I read in the month of October was The Thousandth by Katharine McGee. And please ignore this fold on the cover because it was an accident and my heart still breaks every time I take a look at it. So anyway, this book is set in our world 100 years from now, where basically in New York there's this tower which has 1,000 floors, and this book follows the life of 5 teenagers who live in this tower on different floors, so you basically get to see different people with different backgrounds. It's very much like Gossip Girl and a little bit of Pretty Little Liars. Now, I gave this book a 3-star rating on Goodreads, and to be honest, I found the first half of it to be pretty okay only. Like, the story wasn't that interesting to me. We were mostly introduced to the 5 main characters, which were Avery, Leda, Aries, Watt, and Rylin. The second half of the book was much more enjoyable. I felt like the pace was faster and definitely more interesting. I definitely became more invested in the characters, especially Aries. Katharine McGee also really pays a lot of attention to details, so scenes and locations were described really thoroughly, so I could fully imagine like the setting of the whole location, and just the whole scene was vivid in my imagination, and that was pretty great. This book ended on sort of a cliffhanger, which reminded me a lot of like how Pretty Little Liars finale episodes do it, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next book because I really want to see how everything unfolds. Overall, The Thousandth was a pretty thrilling read and I'm excited for the sequel. The next book that I read in the month of October is Letters to You by Almaz Azmi. This is actually a poetry book, and it is in fact my first poetry book that I've ever read before. I also gave this book a 3-star rating on Goodreads, and I cannot say I loved it, but maybe that's because poetry books aren't exactly my thing. I found some of the poems in here to be quite repetitive or like similar with other poems in the book, but there were a lot of poems in here that were beautifully written, and there were a few that were so relatable that it gave me chills as I read them. All in all, Letters to You was a lovely read, and it's also a pretty thin one, so definitely go and check it out if you're into poetry or if you want to try out poetry books just like me. So the next book that I read in the month of October was Unnatural by Balog. Huge thanks to Sourcebooks Fire for sending me a free copy of this book in exchange for an honest review. So Victoria Zell, also known as Vic, she is sort of an outcast in her school. She doesn't have many friends, but she's fine with that because her boyfriend Andrew is also pretty much an outcast like her. But then one day a new boy named Z moves into school, and he's charming, he's mysterious, and he decides to talk to Victoria. A relationship blooms between Victoria and Z, and she starts doing things she never does, and she starts lying to the people around her. But at the very beginning of the book, when Victoria starts telling this story to her boyfriend Andrew, you know that there's something up and that there's someone dead and something's just not right. So basically throughout this whole story, you listen to Victoria as she tells Andrew the truth of what really happened. At first, I was actually pretty annoyed with the relationship that was forming between Victoria and Z because he was like that awesome mysterious guy and Victoria just fell for him. And that pretty much irritated me because that was so cliche. And even though Z is really mysterious and nothing much really happens in the book, but as the story progressed, I realized that I still did not know what really happened. And can I just say that the ending completely caught me off guard. I had no idea, like I really did not see that ending coming. So that ending was what made me give this book 3.5 stars. It is my first proper YA mystery book I've ever read before, and I can say it really did intrigue me, and I'm looking forward to reading more mystery novels in the future. So anyway, Unnatural has started selling in stores starting from 1st November, so if you're interested, definitely go and check the book out. So the 4th book that I read in the month of October was This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab. So basically this book follows our 2 main characters, Kate Harker and August Flint. Both of them are heirs to a divided city called Verity, and this city is in a world where basically every act of violence and murder ends up creating a monster. This Savage Song is actually my first BD shop book, so I was really excited to start it because, like, you know how everyone's been raving about Victoria Shop's books. I'm happy to say that this book did not disappoint me. I found the world pretty interesting, but I did find difficulty in imagining Verity. I personally wish that this book would have delved deeper into the history of this world so I could properly understand how this world came to be and how Verity itself came to be. But otherwise, the rest of this book was definitely amazing. I loved both our main characters, Kate and August. I loved how both of them are so different. They have really different backgrounds. The whole pacing of this book is just also really fast-paced, and it was really thrilling, and things get down pretty fast. And at first, I started this book and I was probably around like 50 plus pages in, and then I was really busy, so I stopped for 2 weeks. But then when I picked it up, I completed the rest of the book in like just 2 days, and that's pretty fast for me because I'm a really slow reader. I don't normally read books in 2 days, but I did for this book because that was just how page-turning it was, how exciting it was. I gave this Savage Song 4 stars rating on Goodreads. And yeah, I also can't wait to just finally be able to read the rest of Victoria Shop's books as well. So the last book that I read in the month of October was actually my October reading challenge, which was listen to an audiobook. And for that challenge, I chose The Diviners by Libba Bray. This book is set in the 1920s, in which you follow our main character Evie and a set of several other main characters as well. This book is filled with paranormal activities, occults, and a lot of mystery. I absolutely adored having Evie as a main character. She was really lively, really bright, and she's really firm with her opinions. So every single scene with her are definitely exciting ones. All the other characters are pretty interesting as well, and they are pretty diverse in terms of their race and their background. As for the whole idea of the diviners, I wish that aspect could have been more deeply explored, because that was basically what I was really excited about. Having like a team of diviners, but in the book that's not really what you get. The pacing of this book is definitely more on the slower side. I mean, the book itself is pretty lengthy as well. I think the audiobook was as long as 18 hours. However, most of the book is pretty interesting to me, so that was really not a problem for me. But like, the climax was super intense, it was super thrilling, and I loved it. But the part after that, like the concluding scenes, the ending, it was so dragged out, and I felt that some of it was really unnecessary. The narrator for The Diviners is absolutely fantastic. The Diviners is narrated by Jenny Lavoie, and I just felt like her whole job on her narration was just so well done. I'm not sure if other audiobooks are as this good, but for The Diviners, it was definitely narrated really well. And if you are planning to, you know, try out an audiobook, I definitely do recommend The Diviners. Anyway, now that I've shown you guys my October reading wrap up, it's time to find out my November reading challenge.
So here is my thing, and I'm just gonna shake it as usual, and there's only 2 papers left, so... Oh god, okay, 1 fell out, so I'm just gonna pick that one. I'm excited because there's only 2 left.
Okay, so the challenge that I got for the month of November is reread a favorite novel. So for this challenge, I have decided to go with The Little Secret by Kate Saunders. I read this book like countless times back when I was in primary school, which is around when I was like 10, 11, 12. But it has been a while since the last time I reread this book, so I am hoping to pick this book up in November and reread it again because I really do miss the story. So yeah, I guess that's it for my October wrap up and my November reading challenge. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!